Welcome back to episode 100 of the AJ Sports Podcast. I'm your host, one half, Anthony Carboni. To my left is the other half, to my right, Justin Vilche. NHL Week 2 is officially over. I mean, we're concluding tonight.
Not yet.
A couple more games, but we got a couple things to talk about. But first, while I take a bite out of my dinner, Justin, say what's up to the crew, bro.
How's everyone doing, bro? I'm chilling. We went to a couple Leaf games together. Me and my co-host here.
Tell them about that. Tell them which ones we went to.
That was so fire. You know, we went on Wednesday to see Leafs absolutely demolish the mediocre Kings. It was like 6-2. Leafs were winning 5-0. It went to 5-2. We were like, oh boy. But Berube settled the guys down, and it ended 6-2. And then on Wednesday, we were like, what if we go to Saturday's game against the Rangers? The Breadman's in town. And we were like, maybe. We still went on Saturday. We still pulled up, and we went to go see Rangers, Leafs. We saw a Shesty masterclass, Igor masterclass. And yeah, I mean, that was just amazing to see, honestly, like just firsthand, like just live in the action, like just Shesterkin just robbing players left, right, and center. You know, it was just absolutely tremendous. Like as a Leaf fan, I couldn't even be mad because it was just a beautiful sight to see.
Well, why don't we tell them that? Put it in the comments below. Should we go to tomorrow's game against the Lightning?
Should we make it 3 in a row? Leafs Lightning. But yeah, no, everything good. We're currently sweating out a fantasy hockey week right now. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, you know, everything's just chilling, you know? Just hype.
This sandwich is so good. Okay. Let's get into it. Jesus. Let's start off, let's recap the week 2 of NHL. Honestly, this podcast has become so NHL focused. I'm thinking we just fucking fully go in on NHL at this point.
Yeah,
we call ourselves a sports podcast, but like after episode 100, I think we like know what we really like talking about the most. And,
yeah,
and what gains the most traction. So I think we might stick to just hockey, maybe rebrand a little bit. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
but I've been thinking about it. But we will have a new segment dropping pretty soon with our boy Gage. Yeah. So look out for that. We will announce that pretty soon. But let's recap NHL Week 2 after that little housekeeping that we had to address. Let's start with the really bad. I want to start with this really bad. The Nashville Predators, who in the summer said were going to be a wagon in the NHL season. Come to find out, they're starting their season with 0 wins and 5 regulation losses. The only team in the NHL with 0 points through the first 2 weeks of the NHL. Is it time to hit the panic button, Justin? And what can they do to rebound after the past 5 games?
I don't really think it's panic time. Like, again, we are only 5 games into the season. Like, we've seen teams start off really poorly, and then they get on a roll. Like, remember, dude, the Nashville Predators last year, they won like 16 games in a row. Right, which was like they just went on an insane run. So we know the Predators can just go on a hot streak at any moment. What they do need is they need their big guys to step up. Stamkos only has 1 goal through the first 2 weeks. Marchessault only has 1 goal through the first 2 weeks. They need Roman Josi to start putting up points, which I kind of figured he was gonna have a decline. He is 34. He is getting older, and they added more weapons, so I didn't think he was gonna put up as many points as he used to. And yeah, I just think that, dude, they just need scoring. Like, they need their guys that they spent a fortune on to start putting up points now. Like, Yossi's been whatever. But, no, man, Saros has been whatever. Like, he's going to come into his own eventually. Like, we know how Saros is. But again, it's really just the scoring. Like, the scoring needs help. They did lose to the Detroit Red Wings yesterday, who, I mean, I rate the Red Wings highly. So I didn't think it was that bad. But, again, like, 0-5, not great. Last place in the entire league, but I do think they will get into their own, and I think it's only a matter of time before they start racking up wins again. So I think it's not yet. Let's not push the panic button yet.
I think the opposite. I think panic should be set for Nashville Predators. It's not looking great at all. Yeah, 0-5. Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, if you got a couple OTLs, okay, maybe you get a couple points. But you've lost in regulation. Your team has been getting dominated. I want to look at the scores here. If I pull up on Google quickly, where is Nashville? Because it was bad. Like, they haven't been good at all. Let's look at their games recently. Yeah, 0-5. Their first game against the Dallas Stars, they lose 4-3.
Very close one.
They get shut out in Detroit 3-0. Tuesday, they lose 7-3 against Seattle at home.
Yeah.
They host the Oilers on Thursday. They lose 4-2. And then yesterday at home, they play the Detroit Red Wings at home, and they lose 5-2. So the scoring, they got shut out. They scored 3, 2, 3, 8, 10 goals in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. Not good enough.
That's two. That's not good. That's not good.
Not good enough to win you hockey games. Your schedule is looking a little, it's nothing great. You play the Bruins on Tuesday at home. You go to Chicago, and then you host the Blue Jackets. So you should be able to squeeze out a win there. Squeeze out 2 wins there. The Bruins game is going to be really tough, but they are on their Western Central Division swing tournament, or sorry,
road trip.
Road trip is the word I'm looking for. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. There's nothing the Preds fans can do about it. I mean, it's going to suck right now, but I think they could bounce back, right? Like, Saros, $7.8 million, like, he's going to start to get in the swing of things. I think Stamkos not being in Tampa Bay is really, really, really getting to him, and that's why I think he's not putting the points that he is. I think it's just something about being with a new team. He's been with the Lightning for his whole career, and now that he's on a new team, it's gonna get him. It's gonna take him some time to get used to. Marchessault was playing pretty decent, though, I'd say. Out of all the new acquisitions, he's playing decent. He's getting points almost every game. But yeah, man, I think right now, according to his stats, no team who has started 0-5 has made it to the Stanley Cup playoffs, apparently. And the Preds were looking to do that this year and make the playoffs and try and get in. But starting 0-5 and putting yourselves in a hole early is not great, considering you've got young teams like Utah coming up. You've got the Blackhawks who are there as well, who are playing good. And you've got you've got another team that we're going to talk about who are 5-0 right now. So like it's going to be a bit hard, but I think they can pull it off. I mean, you need to win the next one. I mean, you need to go.
Yeah.
You cannot go 0-6. It's like if they lose the next 5. Imagine they lose the next 5 games. They're 0-10 in regular.
Right, if you start off 0-6, bro, you might as well just tank for the first overall pick. Like, come on, bro. Like 0-6, bro.
At that point, you just have to tank. Like, what final thoughts on the Preds before we move on?
Final thoughts. I think they'll win the next 2 out of 3. I think they'll lose Tuesday, but then beat the Hawks and they'll beat the Jackets, and then they'll start off 2-6, and then we'll see where they go from there. Because this is just bad. Like, bad.
Not good at all.
Like, there's nothing good to see. Like, it's just bad. Like, you could see 7 to the Seattle Kraken. Like, come on, bro. Like the Kraken are, again, definition of mid. Like, 7 at home to the Kraken. You could see 4 in the third. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are y'all doing, bro? Like,
so let's move on to one of their rivals who are on the opposite end of 0-5. The 5-0 Winnipeg Jets, who at the beginning of the year, Justin and myself, put on fraud watch for this team. They just beat the Penguins 6-3 at home. What do you think of the 5-0 Winnipeg Jets, Justin? Are they still on fraud watch after winning their first 5 games and being the only undefeated team remaining in the league?
Yeah. They're definitely most certainly on fraud watch. More than half their wins have been against trash teams. They squeaked out a win against the Hawks. They beat the Sharks, and then they beat a Penguins team who just called up Alex Nedeljkovic from being injured. So again, nothing really to be proud of. Yeah, you're 5-0, but again, you really only beat the Oilers, and they beat somebody else. I forget who they beat. But yeah, so 5-0, nothing really impressive so far. Again, you really have to put everything into context, right? So I'm putting it into context for all y'all. So they beat the Sharks, Hawks, and Pens. 3 out of those 5 wins. So I don't care. Jets are still on fraud watch, and once they start playing more tough teams, they're gonna lose. Like if they play the Stars in Dallas, they're losing. Like it's gonna happen. So I don't care. I really don't give a fuck. Okay, Jets fraud watch still won't make playoffs.
Okay, that's interesting because normally when a team is 5-0, they do end up making the playoffs. I want to go look at their stats here. So, okay, so in their first 5 games that they've won, they beat they smoked the Oilers and shut them out 6-0. The other day they played the Blackhawks the Friday and they won 2-1 in overtime. They beat the Minnesota Wild 2-1 in overtime. They beat the Sharks 8-3 the other day. And then today they beat the Jets 6-3. So they've only given up 4 goals in 5 games, which is really good. Some highlights for that team. Neil Pionk, I want to give a good shout out to because he's had a point in every single game for the Winnipeg Jets. So they're getting really good defense on the back end, considering they only have 4 goals against. But it's also the point production that they're getting right now. It's actually really impressive with Morrissey having a bit of a down start. Normally last year he was popping off, but Neil Pionk has really stepped up for these guys, and the Jets look really good right now at the moment. Cole Perfetti is getting back into his game. Scheifele is, like I said, he's got to get to that superstar status. He's starting to get there. He's getting points and goals and all of that. Playing a really good defensive game, especially against Sid and Gino today. Shut them down completely. They didn't have a single point. So that's really good on them. Kyle Connor scoring. They're getting scoring from Ehlers. They're getting scoring from across the lineup. And they scored 14 goals in 2 games. So they're playing really good hockey. But like you said, it just depends on who they're playing. We'll see who do they play next. Their next game is in St. Louis. They are in Seattle. And then, then they play Calgary. Then they host the Leafs. Then they go to Detroit. So they've got like a 50-50,
it's a relatively difficult schedule there.
Yeah, so we'll see how. I mean, going to Calgary, who are also pretty good right now. Seattle, who are actually playing pretty decent, as we called mid, but then they host the Leafs. They also play the Detroit Red Wings too. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Jets, do on that little skid there. But I mean, we've hated on them for so long, but I think you got to give their flowers, right? Them just a little bit for now. I mean, starting the season 5-0 is pretty impressive, no matter who you're playing, I think. So, yeah, it's good for the Jets. Hellebuck playing decent as well. They had Eric Comrie start his first game tonight, and he got the win. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully this gets fucking Winnipeg fans in the seats, as they're always one of the lowest fucking attendance. They have the attendance issues. So, yeah, we'll see what happens in their next couple games. Final thoughts before we move on. I mean, you still have a huge hate for this team, who's actually doing really well and feeding off your hate. So,
yeah, I don't really care. Again, the Jets will continue to be trash, and yeah, let's move on. Because in their next 5 games, they will probably go 2-3.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Alexander Georgiev and the Colorado Avalanche. Do we want to talk about them? Because Wednesday, while we were at the game after us was Boston and Colorado. And I'll let you I'll let you break that one down. I'm just going to try to quickly finish this.
Yeah, so oh goodness. So Kakinen, they remember they claimed Kaapo Kakinen off waivers and he still hasn't started yet. They're saying he might start today against the Sharks. Yeah, Avs lost to the Bruins, and then again that was just Georgiev being trash. And then they played the Ducks, who they barely squeaked the win out of. Because I mean it's the Ducks. Let's just be honest. So, yeah. Hold on one second. Yeah, so again, the Avs are 1-4. Not great, but I mean they are getting scoring like Ross Colton and Middlestad, who have stepped up in the absences of Nichushkin and Drouin and Lehkonen. So that's good for them. So at least they have a little bit of depth scoring there. But again, the depth is still somewhat of an issue, like on the right wing. Other than Mikko Rantanen, nothing really else is happening. The defense, Devon Toews is still injured. So you have Shillington and Makar. and like Josh Manchin and Gerard, which is perfectly fine. But again, Devontae, you still need Devontae's back in lineup. He's currently on IR, and the goaltending is still a massive problem because Georgiev almost conceded 4 goals once again to the Anaheim Ducks. So we will see tonight when they play the Sharks if he will concede another 4 or if Kakinen starts against his former team. I'm not really sure as to how this game's gonna go. I'm gonna be completely honest. This could be like a 1-0 Sharks win. Vitek Vanacek's in that, so I don't really know as to how this game's gonna go, or we could just see a complete demolition of like 8-1 Avs. So I don't know. Yeah, the Avs are 1-4. I'm still worried about them. You beat the Ducks, nothing to be impressed about. So yeah,
in overtime, by the way.
Yeah, barely squeaked out a win over Lucas Dostal and the Ducks. So I'm still heavily concerned about this Avs team.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a perfect scenario right here to get back in the win column once again. I mean, going 0-4, apparently teams who have gone 0-4 have never won the Stanley Cup. So,
yeah,
not a good start for the Avalanche, however. They are playing, or they did play the Anaheim Ducks. They got the win there, which, should have been a win. Okay. They now have the rebuilding San Jose Sharks, who I think would be a perfect Sunday night week closer matchup against at Ball Arena. So, Colorado.
No.
Oh, it's in San Jose. It's in San Jose. No.
In the Shark Tank.
Ooh, in the Shark Tank. Now. Oh, damn. This changes everything. This actually changes everything. Yeah, I can see the Sharks winning this game, but Colorado need to take advantage of a young rebuilding team and put the beating on them. I think they really need this win here. It's going to be tough. I mean, the Sharks are a decent-looking team. I mean, Tyler Toffoli right now is playing out of his mind for this Sharks team. He's getting points every game. Who else is a highlight for the Sharks? I don't really watch much Sharks hockey, but Will Smith.
Maybe
Will Smith. Has he played yet? Will Smith?
Yeah, he has.
I mean, the real star that they're missing is Salabrini, but he'll be back soon. He is injured at the moment. But Wallman's playing pretty good for them. They're getting solid. Are they getting solid goaltending, would you say? I mean, it's not. It's nothing special.
They did concede to the Jets. Yeah.
It's not great.
They're just bad. They're bad.
Yeah.
That's it. They're bad.
They did also,
and they haven't.
And they lost to the They lost to the Blackhawks. Was that yesterday or 2 days ago? Whatever it was.
A couple days ago.
The Sharks are also winless in the year. Yeah, so I think tonight, hosting the Avalanche, I mean, the Avs really need this win more than anything. I think they're going to...
sets up for a first win.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they got a tough little schedule coming up. I mean, they do play the Kraken in Seattle, and then they go to Utah on Thursday, and then they host these Senators. So not too bad, but I think this is a perfect time for the Avalanche to come back and assert themselves in the Central Division because... Oh boy, losing to the Islanders 6-2, losing to the Bruins, the Blue Jackets, the goal, it's just not good at all. It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see a different Avs team tonight. And if they do lose this game, really important question, is it time to question a coaching change with Jared Bednar?
No. Still no coach is gonna fix what their goaltending is. Like what if what can Bednar actually do about his goaltending? Like, yeah. I believe that he asked for a good backup last year because he knew that Georgiev has played like 60 games, he needs help, and I'm rest assured that I think he would ask for at least another goalie in the offseason before the season started to help Georgiev because this isn't his fault. Like, there's so much Bednar can do. Like he can only work with the guys he has. Well,
we were saying yesterday at the Leaf game because we were watching. We'll get into it in a bit, but we were talking about how. Imagine if a guy like Shesterkin was on the Avalanche right now. I don't think they'd be 1-4. Like I feel like you cannot outscore your bad goaltending, and that's clearly the case. Like Georgiev has just not been good at all. It's been really shaky. Just I don't know what happened to him because he was in the Vezina conversations not too long ago, right? Like two seasons ago, no? Like he was at his top of his game.
Yeah. And then last year was awful. He got 4 GF, and now this year it's like 5 GF. So yeah, not great. But we will see tonight if the Avs can pull up a win against the shitty Sharks.
On who other teams do we want to talk about here? I mean, it was just a long slate of. It was a long week, so.
Yeah, I don't really think it's every team. Like the Lightning have looked good. They lost yesterday, but
Yeah,
I mean,
I want to talk.
that's just
That's a team. Yeah, let's talk about the Lightning. Team that I've questioned about over the past like 2 years about feeling tired after the playoffs, after the long playoff droughts. When is it time for them to go into a little bit of a regression? Clearly, they're not showing signs of doing that anytime soon. Like the team looks really good. They beat the Vancouver Canucks at home. They pulled off a marvelous comeback win against the Vegas Golden Knights, scoring in the last, was it like minute of the game?
They scored like 2 goals in like a minute and a half.
They scored in the third period, right? So I mean, especially against the Golden Knights, who looked really strong in the beginning of the year, really impressive for them to do that. And they did lose a tough game to the Senators the other day or yesterday. But that game was, from what Justin was telling me, it was a lot of bullshit calls not going their way. Like I'll let you explain that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a weird start time in Ottawa. Like, it's kind of like whatever, 1 p.m. start time. Like the Lightning, like they tried their best yesterday. Like again, it was just the refs. You knew for a fact the refs had money on Ottawa because Ottawa were underdogs. So the refs definitely put money on that game because there was no way the refs made so many terrible calls yesterday. Like, bro, they're calling Nick Paul for a slash, even though he lightly tapped the Senators player's hand, and then the Senators score on the power play. Nick Paul almost gets his hand chopped off due to a slash from a Sens player, and bro, no call there. Like, it was just ridiculous. Again, Sens get lucky. Lightning have looked good. Bassie's looked good, other than yesterday. He did concede 5, but I mean, they lost 5-4. Like, it was whatever.
Yeah, Lightning. It's not like they're not getting dominated. Like, they were still in that game. No. Easily could have still been 4-0 had certain calls gone their way.
Yeah.
But
like, Lightning are dangerous, bro. Like that top line, bro. It's like they just feed Kucherov like the whole game. It's like, okay, where's Kucherov? Okay, where's Kucherov? And then Gensel and like Point are just there, like just ready to bang in the rebound. It's just ridiculous. Like, and then you have Hedman who can still like clap it from like the blue line, and then you have like Darren Radish who has an absolute bomb on him. Oh my goodness! I was watching the game yesterday, bro. You don't want to get in front of that puck, bro. Like Darren Radish is gonna take somebody's head off. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, but Lightning look really good. They look really, really good.
It looks like still prime Vasi, like forward, like even bro, the second line of like Sorelli, Hagel, and like Nick Paul, dude, that line's putting up points like every game as well. Like for the top 6 is contributing. Defense looks good. Like Moser is doing well. He's playing second power play. Like Lightning look good, bro, and they look extremely dangerous. So, and they roll into Toronto tomorrow, so we'll see.
We'll see if we're even going to be at that game. What is another team I want to talk about? The Penguins. I want to talk about the Penguins real quick. Penguins.
Penguins?
Yeah, so Wednesday they host Buffalo. They post a comeback. Malkin, one of his best games that we've seen from him in a while. He scored like 2 goals, 2 assists or something like that. He went off. And they win the game in overtime. And then all of a sudden, what happened to this Penguins team over the past 2 games? They host the Carolina Hurricanes Friday. They lose 4-1. And then today, Nedeljkovic's return game, finally getting their...
They were winning.
Their number one goalie. Okay? They were up 2-0 in the second. And it completely went downhill. The Jets scored 3 straight, or 4 straight, whatever it was. The Penguins
3.
3 straight. The Penguins tie at 3-3. Right? And then the Jets just score another 3 goals and win the game 6-3. Malkin, -4 today. Crosby, -3 today. Rust, -4 today.
Oh, no. -3. Ryan Rust is personal. It is personal now.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it now. Past 2 games for the Penguins haven't been great. Are we finally starting to see what this team's true identity is, considering they finally got the guy that they were waiting for back, and they really didn't give him a chance to win this game?
I mean, I think they did give him a chance to win because they were up 2-0, and then like the Penguins took control of that second period for a good 15 minutes out of the 20, and then the Jets just randomly appeared out of nowhere and then just like scored goals in the second, like late in the second. But I do think the Penguins, Like, I think it's over. Like, this has become their reality now. They concede lots of goals. Their defense is not good, and that's it. Like, Blomqvist, like, you can't rely on him forever. He's gonna get sent back down to the AHL, and now you're relying on Nedeljkovic, who we don't know as to how good he's gonna be, considering he just came back from injury. And then you have Jari, who has just been absolutely brutal in the past 2 weeks. So you have that. You have defense who can't really defend. Like, Ek and Letang are trying their best, but I mean, like, it's kind of just getting to them at this point. And for core, like, Brian Rust doesn't look like himself. Malkin over the past 2 games really has done nothing really. Crosby's like the only one, and Lars Eller. Like Lars Eller is like their second best forward right now, like points wise. It's like what is happening? Like Lars Eller looks like an absolute beast out there. Meanwhile, you have Malkin and Brian Rust. Like, what is going on? But yeah, I think it's kind of just over for the Penguins. Like, they're not gonna make the playoffs. There's just so many question marks, like health and defense, and will the goaltending step up for the rest of the year? Like,
consistency as well.
Yeah, it's just like they're just so inconsistent, like everywhere, and it's really bad. It's just a bad watch. Like, they're not great to watch anyway. So yeah.
I have a bone to pick with G. I have a bone to pick with Gino, because I picked up this guy as soon as he had a good game against Buffalo, and these 2 games here in fantasy really fucked me over almost with the fact that he was -4 today and then -1 the other day. Like, how? You were literally like leading the league in points, and all of a sudden you just want to fucking crash? Like, what happened? So, like I said, consistency has to be a factor. And is it time to just say, like, some of these old players like Malkin can't do it anymore? Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's
no, because dude, Malkin's been doing this for the past like 3 seasons, where he has a hot 2 weeks and then he just dies down.
Yeah.
Like, I remember last year he did the same thing. The year before that, he did the same thing. He was like the best player in the league for 2 weeks, and everybody's like, "Oh my goodness, like is Malkin back? Like, he might be old, but like he's still doing this, bro." Then he just dips. It's like, hello, like, are you there? So I think it's time that Penguins fans just realize that, bro. Maybe the core's over. Like, maybe it's just time. Like,
I mean,
this.
They're at 500 now, I believe, right? Like, they're 3-3. I mean, losing these 2 games. I mean, I feel like you should have gotten the one at home against the Hurricanes, especially after the comeback against the Sabres. But this one here, giving up, like, being in the lead up 2-0 in the second period should almost guarantee you like a good chance of winning the game, and you still somehow just fucking fuck that up, right? To me, it just doesn't make any sense.
I know, yeah, it really doesn't. Like, the Penguins are just screwed now. Like, there's really nothing to look forward to, other than like Rucker McGroarty, but like he's not even in the lineup anyway. So I don't really know what Pens fans like to watch about this team. I don't even know if they're looking forward to watching Penguins hockey, but as of right now, it's not looking nice. It's not looking good.
Another team I want to talk about is the Utah Hockey Club and the game yesterday against the Bruins. What an absolute beautiful barn to play in. Oh my goodness, that crowd. That crowd is loud. We got if we ever go to Utah, you and I, we're gonna hit up that stadium. Utah Leafs.
Bro.
Unbelievable. It's gonna be crazy when the Leafs go to Utah, or Montreal when they go to Utah. It's gonna be a blast. I mean, what an absolute change for the players, and I think it's really gonna help them. Like, considering that they were playing in Mullet Arena last year. And Utah could surprise people and make playoffs. I mean, they look really good. Yesterday, another great example. I mean, after they had a horrific performance against the Devils, they end up, what was their week looking like? I'm trying to remember. Did they play in between? Pretty sure they did. I mean, look, they're 4-1-1. So yeah, look, they lose to the Devils. They did go to overtime to Anaheim against the Ducks and lost by 4. But the scoring is there, okay? And then yesterday, they host a really good Boston Bruins team who are looking to make the playoffs. And all of a sudden, look at the Utah Hockey Club come back from a 1-0 deficit and beat the Bruins in overtime. What do we think of this team, man? Because 4-1-1 as a new franchise, it's a pretty good start, I'd say. You got 5 point or most points in all your games, right? You only have 1 regulation loss, so props to them.
Yeah. I mean, they have 9 points through 6 games. I mean, they beat the Rangers and Bruins in like 2 weeks. Pretty remarkable for them, honestly. Like, they went to MSG, beat them, came back, beat Boston. I mean, dude, Utah looks good. Again, everyone, all the young guys look good. I mean, they don't have Jersey right now for the next 4 to 5 months. So if they want Timothy Lilligren, he's here to replace Jersey. By the way, just point that out there. It's just a phenomenal idea, right? Like just send him over. But I mean, like Connor Ingram looks great. All the young guys, Gunther, Clayton Keller, Nick Schmaltz, everyone just seems so invested, and they're just like so like young and poised, and like just so like offense happy. It's like, oh my goodness, like I'm here for Utah, bro. Like I want to see Utah games, bro. Like these guys are electric, bro. Like even the crowd, like the crowd are electric, bro. Like bro, Sergachev doing his thing, running like he's getting his opportunity to shine now. Like it's his defense. Like this is his defense core now. Like he was behind Victor Hedman in Tampa. This is Sergachev's defense core, right? So like, dude, everyone just looks like they're having a blast. And you know, bro, like let's go, bro. Utah, bro, make the playoffs, bro. Like I hope they make the playoffs. Like Utah are fun. Like they're a cool team to watch.
They look really good. They look really good. I'm very impressed with the start that they've had. Yeah, coming back against the Boston Bruins. You know, I saw the play where Montgomery literally was yelling at Marchand for turning over that puck, causing Utah to score. Incredible stuff from these guys. You know, I felt really bad last year because the team was just, oh my God, like they were just getting like laughed at by every single franchise because of Mullet Arena. Nobody likes playing in Mullet Arena. You're like, oh, you're in a college arena. And it just, all that negative press on the team would reflect on the players. And I think a lot of people were like, oh, these guys aren't really that great of a team, regardless of where they're playing. Now that they've been under a new owner, a new city, a new arena, new fans, they look incredible. They look like a really good team who could honestly make playoffs. I can't even lie. I had them missing. I could definitely see them competing for the wildcard spot. Not sure about top of the division, like top three. But with the way the Avs and Preds are playing right now and the lead that they have over them, I could definitely see them making playoffs. Like there's no way you beat the Rangers and Bruins in 2 weeks and somehow, you just miss playoffs. Like I feel like they've got a really good opportunity here. Their next couple games, they host the Senators on Tuesday. They host the
offense heavy.
Yeah.
Like that could be like another high scoring like 6-5 game.
Absolutely.
That's a game to watch right there. Like I know the Suns are fraud, but like again, they score tons of goals. So like that's a good one.
It is a very good one. They do host the Colorado Avalanche Thursday, and then they play so that'll be a good game. And then they go to Los Angeles on Saturday. So it's going to be a really interesting week for the Utah Hockey Club. You got a game against your div rival, you're playing the Sens, and then you're going to Los Angeles. So who knows, man? I feel like they're their next couple games after that. They host the Sharks, they host the Flames. Like, if they could hang in with the big boys like the Golden Knights, the Jets, the Blues, like hard teams to play against, I think they could really put themselves in a good position early to make playoffs.
Yeah. And again, like a lot of these young guys are going to get better, are going to get experience, right? Playing against these teams like the Avs and the Kings and the Jets, right? And the Blues. And the Blues have been, Joel Hofer, like all of a sudden, has just stepped up.
Yeah.
Like 1 goal, or no, like 3 goals like yesterday, but then shut out one of the teams a couple days. Oh yeah, they shut out the Islanders when they won like 1-0 in OT a couple days ago. So yeah, I mean, dude, Utah looking good, and push. I'm here for it, bro. Like, go Utah, bro.
All right, I think one more team I want to look at is the Canucks. I want to talk about their game against the Panthers. They didn't win a game up until that point. After a tough loss against Tampa Bay 4-1, they come back against the really good Florida Panthers. Actually, I want to get into Panthers after. Yeah, they looked really good. They got JT Miller OT winner, finally getting their groove back. Who was it? I think was it Kevin Lankinen? I want to say was in net, or was it?
Yeah,
it was Lankinen.
Top tier.
So he's been playing really good. Talk has liked his game. I know Seelovs hasn't been playing his greatest, but a guy like Lankinen, like goaltending was going to be a question mark, considering that they were not going to have Demko, and they're not in a bad position. They have, I think they're 1-3-2, if I'm not mistaken. I think they have 3 regulation losses. I'm going to look into that real quick, but they're looking
2-3-1.
What's that?
The Canucks like 2-3-1.
Oh yeah, I forgot. And then yesterday they shut out the fucking Flyers, so they're 2-1-2. So not bad after they were on a 2-game win streak. Not bad after a couple OT losses and a
Really,
regulation loss.
yeah, not bad at all. Yeah, I mean Canucks like, I mean they were gonna win at some point, right? And they played a beat up Panthers team. They roll into Flyers, beat them, shut out Lankinen. I mean Lankinen's looked great. I haven't really watched much of the Canucks hockey. I'm gonna be completely honest. I know Pedersen has been ice cold. Apparently,
Yeah.
he's been struggling. But again, that's just one of the guys who just got his contract and then just completely just like got cold because he got a contract last year and then he got cold like right after it and he's still cold now. So yeah, I mean, yeah, just like similarities in Florida. Carter Verhaeghe, my goodness, got his extension and has no goals on the season. He has like 3 assists throughout like 7 games, so not looking good there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, back to Vancouver. Vancouver, yeah, I mean, whatever. They won their 2 games. You know, I think they go back home now. I'm not really sure as to what their schedule is, but
I'm pretty sure they're back
yeah,
home
I mean,
now.
decent little road trip here. Win, go back home, and then we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at their schedule real quick. See if I can fucking pull that up right now. Oh shit, no, it doesn't work. But yeah, I'm liking the way I'm liking it. I mean, if he can hold the Canucks off or hold them to like decent wins until Demko comes back, that's perfect. That's ideal. Their next game, they're going to Chicago.
Okay.
Then they're off until next Saturday when they host the Pittsburgh Penguins, and then they host the Devils and Hurricanes. Then they go to California. So looking like they can put themselves in a decent position heading into November. What I'm like Pedersen, I want to talk about him. Yeah, man, a lot of these players when they get new contracts, I don't know what it is. You play for your contract, and then all of a sudden, I was talking to this with my barber today, just completely fucking stop doing anything. Why? I don't understand. You wanted the money, okay? You were threatening to go to Chicago. We heard rumor boys about that. Remember last year, him to Chicago, right? And then he ends up getting his money, and then all of a sudden he's ice cold. I don't understand what's going on. They're really relying on GT Miller, Brock Besser, to hold that team up there, and Jake DeBrusk, right? So Pedersen really needs to step up his game because this is ridiculous. I'm so sick of these players playing for a contract, and then as soon as they sign the fucking dotted line, they just dip. We saw it with Nylander last year, like with his thing. Remember when he signed that $11.9 million extension, and then he went pointless for like 5 straight games or something? You know how funny that was? And then now we're seeing the same thing with Pedersen, where he was ice cold even after he signed the contract last year when he did that, and in the playoffs as well, he was just not effective at all for the Canucks. And then another slow start to the season for him. It's just not looking great at all, and a huge question mark surrounding him. Like, what are the Canucks going to do? Like, how is Rick Tocchet going to get him to start playing? Because if the Canucks want to win the cup or at least compete, they're going to need him to fucking step up, especially if he's making $11.5 million or whatever the fuck he's making. So yeah, he really needs to step up his game. Otherwise, like, the Canucks are just not going to win. Like, there's no way you're going to trade him. He's not going to request a trade. It's all up to him because Talk has given him DeBrusk. He's given him like Bluger. He's given him Garland. Like he got Besser. He's got Miller. Like there's guys that he could play with. So to me, I don't think it's the team. It's him. It's just a persona. What's the word? Persona issue or personality issue? It's him. He's the guy that really needs to fucking step up. And if that's not the case, like I don't know what the Canucks are gonna do. They're not gonna win the cup if he's not playing up to his contract.
Yeah, no, like the Canucks need Pedersen. Like I don't know how long they're going to be able to survive without him being there, doing what he does best and put up points. Like remember, Pedersen can put up 90 points when he's actually playing well. So again, this is just common. This is just a common theme in the NHL. Like guys will just play up to their contract and then boom, they get the contract and then they just don't want to play anymore. So I don't know, bro. Like again, it's all about money at the end of the day, right? Like that's what it is for most of these guys. So I don't know. Maybe it'll get better. I would assume it gets better because if he doesn't start putting up points, then it's gonna be like, okay, then like why did we give you all this money? But honestly, even if he doesn't perform, like he's only like what 24, 25. if it does come to a trade, I do highly think that teams would offer to get Elijah Pettersson because Pettersson is a great player when he's on. So again, I don't know. I think he'll step it up eventually, and it could be relatively. It could be in Chicago. It could be when they play Chicago because remember all those rumors. It could be hey, I'm in Chicago now. All these rumors were here. Let me put up a 3-point night, and then maybe that'll be a kickstart to the season. So we'll see.
We will see indeed. The team that they played against the other day, the Florida Panthers, I want to talk about them before we get into our two favorite teams. Florida, looking pretty solid. They did lose OT to the Canucks. However, yesterday, comeback win against the Vegas Golden Knights, who are, trying to go back for that Stanley Cup. Missing Matthew Tkachuk and Barkov really is going to hurt these guys, as we so thought. But a guy who has stepped up for this team, Anton Lundell, that guy has been insane. Points in every game so far this year. Sam Reinhart on a mission. That's a complete opposite example of what we gave when players signed a new extension. This guy has not missed a beat since Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. He's gotten points in basically every single game. He's over a point per game. He's leading. I think he's up there with goals in the league. He is number one in our fantasy. He's number one right now. He's number one.
Also, number one in the league for shorthanded goals because I think he already has two.
Two shorties already. Again, one against the Bruins and then the one against the Vegas Golden Knights the other day.
Oh yeah.
So
it's just ridiculous.
Two shorties against two really good teams. Sam Reinhart's playing good. Sam Bennett is also playing pretty good too. Like the team looks really good. I thought they were going to have a bit of a regression. Right now they're in the Atlantic, leading the Atlantic in first. They do have one more game played against the Leafs, two more that played than the Lightning. But I don't think it's going to stop. And the fact that they're doing this against teams like, they're competing against Vancouver going to overtime. They're making comeback wins against the Vegas Golden Knights and dismantling the Bruins, right? Look at this team. It's looking really good and without their two best players. So what do we think of the Florida Panthers? Could they repeat and go for another Stanley Cup? Even though they lost OEL, they lost Stolars, they lost Lomberg, they lost their fourth line.
Yeah.
And they still look like a fucking wagon. Jeez, for this team. What do we think?
No, I think they need a little bit more offensive. They need more points from their D man because I understand Ekblad, he's not playing first power play right now. It's Adam Boquist, and you have Forsling, right, who can put up points here and there. But I think that's just their main flaw is they're really relying on their forward core points wise, and they're not really getting much from their defense. But I mean, other than that, Bobrovsky's looked okay. He's been fine. It's not great Bobrovsky as we've seen in the past. It could be cup hangover. We don't know. But he hasn't looked great so far. But I mean, again, that's what you said. They're doing this without Barkov and Kachuk. They're beating good teams, right? So again, once they come back, they're going to be even more of a juggernaut. They're also doing this without Carter Verhaeghe doing his thing, scoring goals. So again, once those guys have not done anything, there's been other guys stepping up, like a Bennett, like a Lundell, and like a Reinhart. So again, Panthers look good still without their two best players.
So think about it. They're doing this without their first line because normally the first line is Verhaeghe, Barkov, Kachuk. So
yeah. So
really,
I don't know.
Really impressive so far. I mean, 3-2-1, not bad. They're first in the division, but I mean, what's their schedule looking like? I was just looking at it. They host the Minnesota Wild on Tuesday. They go to MSG on Thursday, and then they're in the Long Island on the Saturday. So a little tough. They're going to New York. They host the Wild. I think they could beat the Wild, but then MSG and Long Island could be a bit tough, but who knows? This will prove that the Panthers are still a juggernaut in this league, even without two of their best players like Kachuk and Barkov. So let's get into our favorite teams. We'll start with mine, the Canadiens. After we went to the game on Wednesday, we'll get into that. After the Leafs dismantled the LA Kings, my assumption was that the next night, Montreal money line all day, because we have no idea who's going to start for the Kings after they had to put Copley in after Riddick gave up 4. The Habs had 2 days rest after losing to Pittsburgh. They were at home. And then they go up 1-0. Cole Caulfield doing his thing. And then all of a sudden, the team just doesn't want to play hockey. Like, the Kings come back and score 4 unanswered, beat the Canadiens at home after, on the second half of a back-to-back with travel, after losing the night before in embarrassing fashion. They lose to the Kings, and Suzuki, in a press conference, called it an immature effort from the team. Eric Engels of Sportsnet wrote an article talking about how St. Louis expects better from his team after, which I can agree with. Like, the team is, we're not babies anymore. This isn't like the start of the rebuild. This team is not, they're not children anymore, right? These guys have played a couple seasons under the rebuild against like the Avalanche, the Panthers. They've had those bad losses before. They've lost those back-to-back games. They understand now. This is year 4 of the rebuild, I'd say, right? Because 2022, where they were like the worst team in the league, 2 years ago, the last year, and then this year. Yeah, this is year 4, and you're losing these stupid like this. That's a perfect opportunity to win a hockey game. Was that game against the LA Kings? They didn't do that. The next game against on Saturday, Long Island, Logan Mailloux makes his debut after we find out Kaden Guhle isn't ready. Matheson plays after we heard that he wasn't going to practice. Slavkovsky, who sustained an injury against LA, we weren't sure if he was going to play. He ends up playing. Habs go down 2-0 early in the first period. Not a great start. Kaden Primo gets the start after Montembeault had the last 3. And man, for me, Cole Caulfield has just been the highlight of this team. He scored with, you saw Patrick Roy's face when the Islanders gave the Habs a power play with the last 8 seconds left to go in the first period. And Cole Caulfield, again, scores his 5th goal of the season. And in the second period, the Habs, in Logan Mailloux's debut, after the controversy that we had with him, remember that, he scores his first NHL goal against Varlamov, going, I think it was blocker side. So he scores his first goal. And then the Habs take a couple penalties, really immature. They should not be taking this many penalties because the Islanders had, I don't know how many power plays. I think it was like 4 or 5. And then eventually it comes to bite them, where the Islanders score on that ensuing power play in the third period, give them a 3-2 lead. And then with the last 2 minutes left, they had to rely on Cole Caulfield once again, who is playing really well. He scored his 6th goal of the season. He has 6 goals in 6 games, a goal per game player at the moment. The last time Cole Caulfield scored 6 goals in this season, it took him 20-something games, I believe. He scored 6 goals in 6 games. So really bright for him. I want to see, we'll talk about the rest of the team, but they go to a shootout. A long couple rounds. Kyle Palmieri comes in, scores. We knew, didn't expect that, out of nowhere. And then to give the Habs because Islanders shot first, to keep the Habs alive, Oliver Kapanen, I didn't expect, I think he was the 3rd shooter, did not expect him to come in and shoot. He scores and gets the Canadiens back in. And then I want to say somebody else, I forget who else scored. It was Oliver's, or it was a Russian dude on the Islanders. He made that nice fake move on Primo.
Oh, Sipakov.
He made a nice backhand forehand. Slid Dance Primo out of his net. And then Emil Heinonen. So St. Louis giving his younger guys an opportunity. And this guy, we were talking about him again, about the Pittsburgh game. He comes in on the side and just absolutely wrist shot, just boom, right over the glove of Semyon Varlamov. And man, this guy is another bright spot for the team. Look out for him. He's been really sniping a couple past these goalies. Ultimately, Noah Dobson wins it for the Islanders. But yeah, Montreal lose. The loss against the Kings was really bad. This one, not so much. You lose in the shootout, but I feel like the Habs could have given Primo a better chance to win. What do you think so far on this team with a 2-3-1 record?
I think it's kind of where they should be. They're a young team. They've been getting hit by injuries. This is every year now. I don't know if they need a new medical team or what, bro, but this is ridiculous. The season just started and now they're missing Guhle. Slav was injured for a day, but then he came back. Somebody else is injured too.
Ryan Backer, Lane exactly.
Injured. Liney's injured. It's bro, this is ridiculous. But other than that, Montembeault's look great so far. Other than the Pens game. But yeah, look, they're a young team. They're waiting on Line A. If they can stay close to 500 until Line A comes back, then who knows? We'll see how they do. Because again, this isn't their full form yet. This isn't their full team, right? So again, they're cool to watch. Like I like watching Hudson. I like watching Caulfield. Like they're great players and all. But again, Habs like this is kind of what we were expecting. Like they're not gonna like be a playoff contender, but maybe wild card. We'll see. We'll see by the end of the season. But again, this is like we were expecting this. Like there's not really much to say. Like this is where they are. This is what we were expecting. They're a young team. They're gonna lose games like how they did against the Kings, which is they really shouldn't be losing. But they're a young team that aren't really fully experienced. Like they have veterans, but or whatever. So again, the Habs 2-3-1. That's not terrible for them yet. So we'll see. We'll see how they do in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean it's not terrible, but I feel like the Kings game really was like ridiculous. Now they do play the Rangers on Tuesday. It's gonna be tough. Then they
Yep.
have a long break, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off, and then they host the Blues Saturday. Go to Philadelphia the next night. So it's gonna be decent like this week. I mean, they think they could beat the Blues. The Flyers, the Flyers are gonna be a really good team as well. It's tough to play against. LA
Mhm.
Kings, I mean that game, whatever. Rangers is gonna be tough. I mean, the Rangers look really, really good. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know how they're gonna do against them, but we'll see. My thing with the Canadians is just the effort against LA really did it for me because I'm there like, man, this team is like it doesn't make any sense. This team just came off of a back to back playing the fucking Leafs, and then they just get shit on against Toronto. Then
Mhm.
they have to travel to Montreal after you had 2 days off, and you lose 4-1. Unbelievable! Like that really did it for me. It really made me upset. I don't know how the fuck these guys pulled that off. That's it. By now, I get you're a rebuilding team. I get it. By now, you should not be losing those games.
Yeah.
You should
No,
not be
it's
losing those
unacceptable.
games. Unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
And Suzuki was right to call it immature. And if I'm St. Louis, yeah, I'm disappointed in my team too, because like that's a game you should win. You should win that game. Like 9 times out of 10, you should win that game.
Yeah.
And then they lost. So I don't know. Montreal, they need to start winning those games that like should be winnable. I get it if you were this was like a couple years ago when they were still like young, but now Caulfield's in his like fifth season, Suzuki's in his fifth season. Like these guys they're not kids anymore, man. Like it's time to start fucking getting that power play going. It's time to start
Mhm.
winning those back to back games where teams are on the edge of a back to second half of a back to back, and you got to be consistent and stop taking penalties. If that's the case, they can remain 500 up until Line comes back, and who knows from there. But for now, just stay in the middle, be at least 500, just maybe, hopefully above, even at 500 is okay. Wait till Line comes back, and hopefully we can see some magic happen with Line on that first power play unit. But I think that's enough of Montreal. Let's go into the Toronto Maple Leafs, where we have been fully invested in the past two games. So go with the LA game. What a fucking start and first period for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'll let you
No,
explain.
yeah. Dude, yeah, dude, they were great against the LA Kings. LA Kings looked terrible. Riddick looked awful. Then they pulled him. Put in Phoenix Cox. At least we're up 3-0 in the first. Everyone that goes again. It was a great team performance. JT didn't look good. But the rest of the team looked great. Then they were like 5-0 going to the third. Yeah, again, really the main points there. Like Leafs look great. The kind of little old school throwback Leafs when it was 5-2 and then they need to call a timeout. But Berube got them guys going again, and they scored to make it 6-2, and the game was over. By that point, uh, then that was it really. Like the Kings looked terrible. Like again, I don't know if it's because of no Drew Doughty, but my goodness, like it was just really bad from their part. But again, the Leafs took advantage, right, of a Kings team that were mediocre. And then on Saturday, the Breadman and Chesty roll into town that we went to, back to back league games.
Bought the tickets on the train ride there, by the way.
Yeah. And then, yeah, dude, we got to the game. I kind of had a feeling that the Leafs were going to lose this game because I saw Rangers as underdog on Sportsbooks. And
plus 135 to win. I'm like, are you kidding me?
actually being for real. So again, I was like, okay, there's no way the Leafs are going to win tonight, and they proved me right. Because my goodness, what a performance yesterday from Chesty. That was unbelievable. He saved like 33 out of 34 or something. I knew it was just ridiculous. Like the Leafs again, like this is common for Leafs. Like a good team rolls into town and the Leafs just struggle to score. Like this has been going on for years and years. Like it doesn't matter what coach we have. When good teams roll into town, like when Boston rolls into town, we have trouble scoring. Rangers roll into town, we have trouble scoring. And it's just like we can't crack the code. And they don't know what to do. Like Chesty robbed those numerous times, right? Stolar's played great. Like he only conceded 2 goals. Like the scoreline says 4-1, but it was really 2-1.
It was really 2-1,
right? Yeah. But again, like the Rangers didn't really look all that great. Like it was Chesty bailing them out for a good portion of that game. But I mean, like, dude, this is just common Leafs. Like teams roll into town and they just get like scared. It's like, bro, like we gotta hang with the big boys here. Like this is a year 8 of our rebuild. Like we can't be losing to the Rangers at home like this. Like we have to take advantage. Like I understand Chesty's in net, but bro, we could beat these goalies. Like we've beaten Vasi in the playoffs before. Why can't we beat Shesterkin on a Saturday night in our barn? Like this is like, come on. Like I understand it's Zib and Foxy Clean, etc. Like I completely understand. But dude, we have Stolar, who's been great for us. There's no reason as to why we should be like shitting ourselves because it's Chesty in net. Like, come on now. So I was a little bit disappointed, but I mean the Rangers are a great team overall. So I was like, okay, like whatever, it happens, it happens.
You're not surprised.
But if I see this exact same performance tomorrow when the Lightning roll into town, okay, and if we struggle to score because the Sens scored 5 against Vasi yesterday, and I've seen Utah score 6 against Chesty a couple weeks ago, and we couldn't even score more than 1. So if we don't score more than
2,
if we don't score 3 or more goals, okay, against Vasi, okay, then I'm going to be pissed off because there is absolutely no way the Senators are lighting up Vasi and we cannot score against Vasi. If we lose 3-1 tomorrow, or if we lose like 5-2, or if we even get shut out, yes, I am going to be angry. So I will let this loss slide because it was whatever. But if it's the same thing tomorrow, oh yes, now there's gonna be a problem. Now there's gonna be a problem.
Yeah,
because there's no way good teams are going to roll into our barn, okay, with our new head coach and just beat us, come in here and be like, okay, yes, it's the Leafs. Okay, we going to beat these guys. Like, we don't care if it's Matthews, Berube, etc. We're going to come in and beat these guys. Like, Kucherov's going to come in tomorrow and it's going to be like, oh, bro, it's Toronto. Like, let me do my thing. Like, no, that can't happen anymore. Like, it can't happen. We got to go there. We got to stifle that first line of Point, Gensel, and Kucherov. And that's it. And that's it. And get shots up high on Vasi. And then, boom, flutter pucks on net from the freaking blue line. What Riley was doing a couple years ago. Get pucks on net. Like, shoot it. And that's another issue. Bro, these guys are scared. Bro, Domi, bro. Okay, Domi, I understand you're Ty Domi's son, but bro, it gets to a point where we don't care anymore. What we care about is you shooting the puck. Okay, and you're passing up 2-on-1 opportunities to pass across when you just received the pass across. How about you play Chell, and when you receive the pass across, you shoot it? How about that? Okay, Marner, bro, now it's personal. Now it is personal. There's absolutely no way, okay, I saw you yesterday skate into the corner, okay, just to give the puck over. So I think it was the bread man. He literally just gets the puck. Marner gets the puck, skates into the corner, turns his back, and then just loses it. What are you actually doing? And bro, Nick Robertson, okay, now it's time, bro. Because there's absolutely no way, and this has been 4 years running. Okay, in the past 6 games, you have 0 points, you have 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 plus minus. You have done literally nothing. It's been cardio work, okay, for 20 minutes. Not even. It's like 10 to 15 minutes cardio, just skating back and forth. You have done nothing, okay? I am tired of watching you play, bro. You are not your brother. We will never have your brother, and it makes me upset. Why are you still on the hockey team? Where is Pacioretty? Pacioretty is a veteran, and he does more than Nick Robertson. Nick Robertson is a scrub. He does nothing, okay? I'm tired of watching this guy get the puck and do nothing with it. He falls over, or he stick handles it, and can't stick handle, and then gives the puck away when we're in our zone. I'm sick of this guy. Okay, get him. I better not see him in the lineup tomorrow. I don't care if Berube's like, oh, well, he's fighting hurt. I don't care because he can call it Holmberg, but he doesn't want to call it Nick Robertson when he's making mistakes. I don't want to see him tomorrow. I want to see Patches in the lineup tomorrow, and I want Holmberg to get another opportunity because I understand yesterday was bad, but I want to get another shot because there's no way Nick Robertson is getting chance after chance after chance, and he has been trash. Okay, I want Patches in the lineup, and I want Robertson scratch because he is garbage. He's playing against us. He doesn't want to be here. He's playing against us. He's trying to show I don't want to be here. Okay, get him off the lineup because I'm sick of watching this guy. Where is J Rob? Why can't he practice with his brother and be like him? Okay, he will never be as good as J Rob. Okay, I'm so sick of this. Okay? I'm done. I'm done. Because this is 4 years, ever since the bubble in Columbus, and he's done the same thing over and over and over again. Just been trash. He can score goals in the preseason. I don't care. Because when it comes to the regular season, he is awful. He does nothing. He gets power play time, second power play. For what? He does nothing. What? How has he been rewarded with a little bit of power play time? He should be healthy scratched, bro. Like, he does nothing.
Yeah, this is the perfect place to vent that out. And I think that was holding Justin away for a long time since 2020 in the bubble. Yeah, let me talk about that game against the Rangers. First of all, I'll get into Nick Robertson quickly, just to quickly close that out. I think Pacioretty does deserve a chance to play. He has more goals than Nick Robertson in less games. He is a veteran player. He should be in the lineup. We watched Nick Robertson 2 games live in a row, and both of everything what Justin said about him turning over the puck and falling over is
Literally a ghost.
literally
He does nothing.
literally happened. It's just carpal cardio sessions for him. Little bit of a running back and forth with no production happening on his side. Yeah, he needs to pick up his game. I don't know what Berube sees with Robertson. It's something that Keefe really didn't see, and I think that's where I think Keefe knew already. But Berube, for some reason, still sees something in Nick Robertson. But I think in this scenario, you got to take him out of the lineup. I think it's not looking great. Bobby McMatthews, I mean, he was the guy that was not selected over Robertson. Berube picked Robertson over McMahon to play, and McMahon already has like 4 goals.
3 goals. Remember, he scored a brace. He has more goals than Nick Robertson this season in less games, bro. McMatthews is playing like second line.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Nick Robertson, oh my goodness, bro. Nick Robertson's a sniper. Oh my goodness, he's the brother of J Rob, the best agent in the league. Bro, but he's the worst agent in the league. Like, he does, bro. He takes up.
He's gonna blow a gasket over this guy, but Nick Robertson really needs to fucking pick up his game because I think Berube is gonna see it for himself. That I mean, tomorrow I think Pacioretty should be in the lineup. Give Nick Robertson a rest. It hasn't been a great showing for this guy yet, so give him a rest. Put Patches in, and then you can really see if it's really just Nick Robertson. Touching upon this Leafs Rangers game, I mean, Shesterkin, you deserve all the money that you want, considering he robbed Tavares in the slot. He robbed Matthews across. He put the Rangers on their back because a couple times the Rangers, man, the full pressure thing in NHL 25 literally happened in real life, where the Leafs were literally just pressing and shooting and getting the puck and creating turnovers for the Rangers. Like, it was like they held on, and when the Rangers went up 1-0 in the first period, it wasn't that bad. Like, couple shots here and there. Lafreniere picks it up and shoots while Stolarz is trying to figure out where the puck is at. I think it was a little bit of a screen as well. They go up 1-0. And then in the second period, the Rangers, I think it was a power play goal. Riley Smith to Zibanejad to Kreider. Tic-tac-toe. Absolute beautiful goal. Like, it was nuts.
Bro.
Watching that live, I was like, I was just screaming like, ew, that was so gross. That was one of the nicest, was it on the power play? It might have been on.
No.
It was even. Was that?
Oh, I think it was a delayed.
The ensuing penalty. Yeah, the Rangers. Oh my God, they just clicked.
It was just like pass, bang.
Like Panarin.
It's like,
Panarin gave it over to Riley Smith. One timer to Zibanejad, who was in like the hash marks. One timer pass to Kreider, who was just in the crease, and he just tapped. All he had to do was just tap it in. It was such a nice pass. So beautiful. Ridiculous. Rangers go up 2-0, heading into the third period. And then that's when the Leafs started really pressing the Rangers. Oh my goodness, it was hilarious. It was incredible how they were just coming in. Like, Shesterkin was robbing Tavares, robbing Matthews, robbing Marner. And then in the ensuing third period, where the Leafs were getting pressure, Matthews against the Panarin line really stood out and protected that puck using his size, 6'4", 230 pounds, using his size behind the net. He comes around, wraps it around the net, and he gets the Leafs back in within one with around 10 minutes left to go. And then from there, I think it was pretty even. The Rangers took a couple penalties. The Leafs could just not score on Shesterkin. They could not get a power play goal. The power play really needs to be looked at. I don't know what it is. I think it's got to be JT. I think you get JT off that first power play and put in a guy like Matthew Nyes or maybe even Bobby McMahon. I don't know, but I just don't think JT on that power play works. I like OEL still. Like he's a better puck moving defenseman than Riley is. He's better on offense and defense. I think he's just an overall better defenseman than Riley, personally. Of course, you got to keep Matthews and Marner on there and Nylander, but I think you really got to switch out JT for a guy like Matthew Nyes, who almost pulled a beautiful fucking tying goal.
Yeah.
Came in the slot, toe drag, just missed the net. It was honestly so nice, but he just missed. But my highlight here before I get into the rest of the game, shooting the puck. Like you touched upon it earlier with Domi. The Leafs need to shoot the fucking puck. Everybody in the crowd was getting mad because Marner's like, oh, Marner, shoot the fucking puck. Shoot the puck. Literally every drunk fan knows that the Leafs should be shooting the puck more. And they should. Like, so many times, like, Marner could have just ripped a quick shot on net. He's looking for Matthews, turning and turning and turning and turning, and nothing happens. And then what happens is they turn it over and they go on a rush, the Rangers. Same thing with Domi. Yep. Nylander flicks it over, a sauce pass to Domi. Clear shot on Shesterkin's right here. You're here. Shoot it. No. Decides to send it right back to Nylander. Nylander's all the way out, up over the half. Not even looking because he's expecting a shot from Domi. You gotta at least if what they want to do to beat these teams is don't go down early, number one. You need to shoot the puck more, and you gotta score on the power play. The power play is atrocious. That power play sucks. With the amount of they went 50% against the beaten up Kings. So what? Against the New York Rangers, your power play was ass. You didn't score a single power play goal. I think they had 3 or 4. It was wild. In the end, Kreider gets an empty net, 3-1. A couple minutes later, Panarin gets another empty. As soon as Kreider scored, by the way, I literally called it out. I called out all the fans in the building. As soon as Kreider got the empty net, still like 2 minutes left. As soon as Kreider scored, literally everybody up, and they fucking left. Oh my goodness, it was so funny. I literally am like, real fans, eh? Real fans. Not even say to the final whistle. And there's some fucking dude behind me. He's like, you know what they do at buddy, you know what they do at MSG? And I'm like, what? And like after one goal, they leave early, right? I'm like, no. They don't. Who cares? They don't boo when they get scored on first. That's not what happens. Okay, relax. Get off my case. I'm wearing a Rangers jersey. Like, shut up. Your team stinks. Whatever. Shut the fuck up. But yeah, it was funny. And then Panarin gets an empty netter. So 4-1 wasn't really 4-1. 2 empty net goals don't really count. Whatever. 2-1, I'd say the game was. In the end, I still think the Leafs really need to fix that fucking power play because going like 0 for 3 or 0 for 4, like the Rangers were so vulnerable at times where the Leafs could have capitalized, and they were. That's the thing. They were like they looked vulnerable in certain spots. The Leafs could not capitalize on those opportunities, which ultimately led them to not scoring a goal. But just the real story is just this Igor Shesterkin is just absolutely insane. Like, could you imagine if it's like the team like the Avalanche, the Oilers, or the Leafs had a guy like Shesterkin? Unbelievable. Like this guy is clearly, undisputedly the best goalie in the NHL right now. As we record this podcast on October 20th at 7:29 p.m. He is the best goalie in the league. I don't want to hear no more Sorokin versus Shesterkin debates. That's done. No. I don't want to see Ottinger. I don't want to see Swayman. I don't even want to see Vasilevsky. Shesterkin is clearly the best goalie in the league by far. Yesterday was honestly one of his best games that I've watched, but hands down one of the best games I've seen him play in his whole career. Insane.
it was unbelievable. Like to see it live, like Chelsea's just completely different, especially with there when we were by the ice.
Yeah, we were there. We were looking at for warm ups. Igor was locked the fuck in.
Bro, Igor was just like he was like, bro, I know I'm like he's like, bro, I know I'm winning tonight. Like Igor is just so cool. Like, bro, if he wants 16 mil, bro, just give the man what he wants. Like, and they're not the Rangers are not gonna find another goalie as good as Shesty, and they gotta know that. Like, they're not gonna like who else are they gonna get? Like, let's just be honest. Like, their backup is Jonathan Quick, who's like 38, bro. Like, let's be honest. Just give him what he wants, okay? Like, he wants 16, give him 16. Like, it's Chesty. Like, yesterday he proved himself. Okay, give me what I want. Because if that was Quick, it could have been 5-6-2 leaves.
Yeah, so. I mean, fuck. Like, it's just crazy. Like, Shesterkin is so good. Like, he arguably could be better than Prime Price. Like, honestly, as an Abs fan too. Like, oh my goodness, Shesterkin is so good. I think he's better than Lundqvist, low key. I think he's better than Lundqvist. Mm-hmm. Like, he's like, it might be a hot take, but like, my goodness, when it's all said and done, Shesterkin's gonna be like in the top 10 goalies of all time, 100%. Especially because he's could compete for the Vezina this year. He's got to go for the Stanley Cup. I mean, if it's not with the Rangers, it's got to be with another team. But like, this guy, when it's all said and done, he's going to be remembered as one of the greatest goalies we've ever witnessed. And we saw it live yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Incredible. So
I think
that's going to do it for this episode of the AJ Sports Podcast. And episode 100. Like I said earlier, we're going to have to talk about maybe changing it to hockey because we love talking about hockey. So we might do a little rebrand, but we'll see. We will announce. Well, I can just say it now. We're gonna be doing a new segment with our boy Ian Gage. Shout out to our TikToker, our TikTok man who runs our TikTok account. He's gonna be giving everybody picks every single week, or every single day, however, for NHL. So stay tuned for that. That will be up soon. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Like, subscribe, turn on those notifications so when we post, you'll get an alert right away that we are there. So, if we're not at the Tampa Bay Leafs game tomorrow, who knows? You might be. But we'll see you guys during the week. Next week, it's going to be a bit tough. We're going to Guelph for Halloween weekend.
Yes.
So,
I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe we do a podcast in Guelph.
Maybe.
in our Halloween costumes, do a Halloween edition of the AJ Sports Podcast. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. We will see you guys later. And enjoy Tuesday night's Frozen Frenzy when every single team plays a game. We'll see you guys then. Enjoy your week. We will see you guys next time.